What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy. I can't even do that with the voice. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Domuto. We're back with another video. Today we're watching Beyond Dragon Ball Super by UnrealEntGaming. We're watching Ultra Destroyer Gogeta. Wait, Ultra Destroyer Gogeta versus Grizzlor versus Broly finale. A new power unleashed. Oh shit. Okay, a new power unleashed. Okay. We saw that Gogeta pulled up and showed out, and he about to show out some more against Grizzlor. About to whoop his ass. Broly about to be in people's way, but let's get into it. Me slapping my meat.
As our story now continues following the initial events involving Universe 17's God of Destruction Grizzlor alongside full-powered Super Saiyan Broly and Gogeta, as with Grizzlor already assuming a premature victory and having to assume that he had beaten Gogeta with Broly being shown having to make his way towards him, was when Grizzlor then went on to respond, "So you're still itching for more now, are you? Well, go ahead and come and give me your absolute best, because just like your ally who I was shown having to crush before your very eyes, I'll make sure that you are next to go, Saiyan." To which moments later, with Broly then having to be shown colliding with Grizzlor and creating a shockwave all throughout the landscape, was when Angel Jinrei then went on to chime in. And I see. Now, since Lord Grizzlor's attention appears to be entirely focused on Broly, despite with his raw power being both formidable and surprising to Lord Grizzlor, I however fear that Lord Grizzlor may in fact be overlooking a far greater threat to him that looms, for it isn't Broly that Lord Grizzlor ought to be solely focused on within the moment, but rather the fusion that awaits above. And as I fear that if Lord Grizzlor doesn't redirect his attention and ensures that both targets are defeated and defeated for good, then I'm afraid his battle is still very far from being over while being completely unaware of what waits for him above. To which it was only upon with Grizzlor shown having to uppercut Broly in the face before having to knock him away was when Grizzlor then went on to quickly respond, "You see, did I not warn you that this was going to be what would happen the more you continue to try and engage me, mortal? Because if you honestly think that the pain is going to stop there, then just like your ally had assumed, you are in for a very rude awakening the longer our battle continues to be waged." Now, while I hate to interrupt your battle against Broly, Angel Jinrei then went on to quickly intervene, but I do want to quickly interject myself here and say that I don't think that you should solely be focusing your battle here on the ground, Lord Grizzlor, for I do fear that you might be overlooking something very important that you may not be noticing within the moment, as Grizzlor went on to then stop himself by then turning around and responding, What are you talking about, Jinrei? What are you saying that I happen to be overlooking that is more important than the battle that is being shown taking place here in front of me?" Well, what I mean is that your focus ought to be with what is above rather than what is shown here below, for I want you to go and look a little closer at the result of what was shown taking place involving the Saiyan's fusion, for I don't believe that they are truly finished with you just yet, and so can you sense that too, my lord? As Grizzlor then went on to look on up by then responding, "And what exactly do you mean, Jinrei? For I am not able to sense anything coming from up there." Wait, now I'm starting to sense something, but how were they able to hold out against both of my attacks like this, along with Broly's additional blast that was added on top of my own? For they should be dead. But then, it was only shockingly enough through the smoke, as Gogeta in fact did prove to not only still be alive, but also seems to be harboring a brand new amalgamated power that combined the strengths of both Goku and Vegeta into one, as Gogeta then went on to quickly respond, "While you were quick to declare your victory over me by assuming that your attack would have been powerful enough to already destroy me, you went and made one very crucial error in your judgment along the way, Destroyer, for you went and failed to take into account the power that I bear, because now that I have taken Goku's instinctual evasion and combined it with Vegeta's destructive might, what you see standing before you now is a new level of strength that I have created that you have never seen before," Gogeta continues, "for this is not just a fusion of mere bodies, but a synthesis of the ultimate offensive and defensive powers merged into one, and while I can only maintain such a level and limiting myself to having to evolve any further than what my fusion timer can allow for me to handle, handle, you will now come to find out that I will not be as easy to go and engage against as you've recently just experienced, Destroyer. And now that I can see on just how difficult you truly are to deal with in battle after momentarily having to battle you, you can go and set aside any hope that you may have had in defeating me, because now that I'm fully aware on just how strong and just how dangerous you can truly be by even going as far as to rival our Super Saiyan Blue form, what you will experience here and now will be far more than your body will be able to handle. And in case you were wondering, Gogeta continues, you can just go and refer to this as my Ultra Destroyer form, and despite the reduced time limit due to our immense power output, however much time we are left to go and deal with you will be more than enough time for us to go and knock you out as a result of our up and coming and final confrontation, God of Destruction. And so if you thought that I was tricky to go and deal with before, given how you and I were nearly shown having to be relative in strength, then you have absolutely no chance of coming close and stopping what I am now, Lord Grizzlor. And so I will hereby go and give you one final chance. Give up and cease this pointless battle between us now, or face annihilation. So it's your move. Now what's it going to be?
Clean,
as Grizzlor went on to then look on up and shop by them responding,
clean.
Wait, you went and did what now? But how? How are you able to not only endure what it was that I was just shown throwing your way, but also managing to find a way to combine the Saiyan's Ultra forms into now being able to use Ultra Instinct as your base, with the power of a Destroyer as your offensive counter, Grizzlor questions? For there is just no way that what you are saying is to be taken as true, and that is because your immortal body would have already shattered under the extreme weight of the levels in which you are trying to bear, so that's impossible. Well, if you're still in denial about what it was that I had just mentioned to you, Gogeta went on to respond, only being shown rubbing his chin and looking on up, then I welcome you to try and call our bluff if that's what you think this is, and I'll be more than happy to prove you wrong upon the moment I show you, Destroyer. To which Grizzlor was looking to accept, because with Grizzlor then shown having to channel 2 Hakai orbs once again within his palms was when Grizzlor then went on to continue, why, you disrespectful mortals, try and call your bluff only to prove me wrong, huh? Well, so be it then, because I highly doubt that your miserable fusion will be strong enough to go and endure the same onslaught again. As not only will I go on to overwhelm you both once more, but this time around I'm going to make sure that I hit you with enough force that you will never go and speak to me like that again. And if you haven't learned your lesson by now, then maybe this ought to finish you off, mortals. What a shame that you newly resurrected Destroyers are filled with such pride and blinded conviction that you fail to understand that times have changed, Gogeta responds. But since you cannot seem to want to accept—
Alright, who y'all got winning? Ultra? Okay, I'm watching the Call Me Orange video. So who winning, this Gogeta or Ultra Vegito? Ultra Vegito will probably win. Even though these are Gods of Destructions are way stronger than the ones in the Ultra Vegeta video, but still Ultra Vegeta got way more power, and he got another form besides this. So yeah, anyway.
Accept the reality of what you're currently up against here, Destroyer, then maybe this ought to open your eyes to see the truth behind my power and why you will never be strong enough to overtake it, especially so as long as I continue to wield it in battle against you, God of Destruction. So even while you attempt to try your hand at directly having to go against me, Gogeta went on to then Hakai Grizzlor's attacks, let this be what serves as one of many of the examples that I will show you on why you will never muster the necessary power that is needed to overtake what I've become. And since your anger towards us has blinded you to the truth of the reality that stands before you, Gogeta went on to then blitz his way down, maybe now is a better time than any other for me to go and show you on exactly what it is that I mean when I say that you have no chance. My word, Gogeta's movements are absolutely astonishing, Angel Jinrei went on to oversee as Gogeta went on to knock away Grizzlor's second attack, for it is clear that Gogeta's mastery of Goku's Ultra Instinct is allowing for him to move with incredible precision, but what's even more astounding from what I can see is Gogeta's ability to switch in and out of using Vegeta's Ultra Ego within the blink of an eye, which is truly beginning to look as though it's starting to slowly take its toll on Lord Grizzlor, for this combination is proving to be far too overwhelming for Lord Grizzlor to bear within the moment.
Damn.
But even now, I wonder on what Lord Grizzlor's last result is going to be if he simply cannot overpower the fusion and is left with no other reserves left. Jinrei questions. And because with Broly now having to be shown jumping back into the fray, Jinrei continues, this doesn't truly appear to be favoring Lord Grizzlor in any sort of way that he was expecting for it to be, to which upon as Broly was shown attempting to attack Gogeta, it was only once again made painfully clear that Gogeta really didn't want to engage against Broly, but instead tried to talk Broly out of this, as Gogeta then went on to dodge Broly's attacks by responding, and I tried warning you several times over, but you just didn't want to go and listen, and while your mind appears to be clouded by rage, I know that you can hear me in there, Broly, and while I can see that even you appear to be very surprised by the outcome of what is shown taking place before you, Angel, and I can assure you that even with my time shortened, I will still go on to defeat your God of Destruction and revert Broly back to his calm state of mind before my fusion is over. And so while I stand before you and asking you to once again cease your attacks and stand down, Gogeta continues, and I know that you aren't going to listen, and because I know that you simply aren't going to listen to anything that I'm saying, then you simply leave me with no other choice but to make you listen, Broly. And so you can try as many times and try as hard as you'd like, Gogeta continues, but without proper control over your power and without the ability to focus in and evolve yourself in ways which would be more proactive towards our cause, then you will never be able to break free of this curse if you continue to allow for this anger and for this rage to swallow you whole, Broly. And so now wake up and snap out of this mindset that is keeping you prisoner within your own body, Broly. For I know that you've been watching and I know that you've been paying attention while dealing with these newly resurrected destroyers. And so now go and get it together or you will be destroyed in the process, Gogeta went on to then knock Broly down. And so now what's it going to be? Because if you continue to try and engage with me, Gogeta continues, then I am going to either knock you out or you will die. And so now what are you going to choose to do? For I'm not going to go and warn you again. Do you hear me, Broly? And so you better be glad that I'm not giving it my all against you, otherwise you would have been destroyed. For I am not your enemy in this fight, nor do I want to be forced into doing this, and so now hurry it up and try to snap at. But then, it was only just then from out of nowhere with Destroyer Grizzlor being shown having to appear behind Gogeta and wrapping Gogeta up in a bear hug was when Grizzlor then went on to quickly respond, the only one who is going to find themselves snapping here is going to be you, mortal, for how dare you go and turn your back to me? For I don't care about who you are or what kind of power you claim to have, for no one lays their hands on me and lives to walk away to talk about it, Fusion. Especially not you, that much I will promise. And so go ahead and try to resist, because I'm going to squeeze the life out of that body of yours before I go and devour it whole. Yes, that's right. And so which one of us would you want to go and start the countdown here? Because I'm not letting go of you until I know that you are dead. But it was only unbeknownst to Grizzlor as Grizzlor went on to then look out into the distance, and seeing Broly charge up for an energy blast within his mouth was when Grizzlor then went on to continue. Oh, now what? And just what are you looking at, Saiyan? What are you gazing at me like that for? Thinking about saving your dear old fusion, are you? With Gogeta responding, oh yeah, I know that look, and it isn't a look where he's looking to come to our aid, but instead Gogeta went on to then quickly spin around. Well, you're about to go and find out the hard way is what I mean.
Oh, so shut him up then.
So now watch. And watch Grizzlor did, because even with Grizzlor refusing to let go of Gogeta, as Broly had gone as far as to unleash his mouth blast and having to catch Grizzlor from behind, was when Jinrei then went on to chime back in. How How very cunning of that fusion to go and use Lord Grizzlor's massive size and weight against him and to have him be used as a shield like this. And as I feared that something like this would ultimately go and happen, but I truly didn't expect for the odds that were stacked up against Lord Grizzlor to come from Universe 7 of all places, but alas it did, Jinrei continues. And while the Saiyans, even despite with Broly not fully working alongside Gogeta, continue to attack and stay on Lord Grizzlor, if this onslaught against Universe 17's God of Destruction continues without Lord Grizzlor's ability to counter their methods of attack increases, then I unfortunately do not see him being able to endure much more of this unless something drastic and sudden were to somehow occur. To which it was only momentarily after Grizzlor went down, as Broly was then shown having to dash at Gogeta yet again, was when Gogeta went on to then respond. It surprises me to no end to see that despite how many times I try to warn you to stay away from me, you still continue to try, even after having to explain to you that I am not your enemy here, Broly. But if you are that desperate for a reminder and allowing for me to go and show you on where you stand when facing across from me, Gogeta went on to then counter Broly's strike by responding, then I will gladly go and remind you of exactly why I am everything that you fear, and while I know that there is a part of you deep down that can hear me, I just want you to know that this ends now. And so I am done handing out any more chances, and so this ought to warrant you off a while I go and handle business in the meantime and finish this fight while I still have the time. And while I attempted to warn you several times over not to engage against me, Gogeta went on to then toss Broly onto the side, if you go and try to attack me like that again, then I'll make sure that it'll be the last time that you ever do, and so just do what you know is right and stay out of my way, Broly. And now, Gogeta then went on to quickly charge up for a massive Kamehameha. No matter how big you are or how strong you claim for yourself to be, I'll make sure that your rampage against us ends with this. You will never be strong enough to muster the power that is needed to break my spirit, Saiyan. Grizzlor then went on to suddenly respond, for it will be you who will be crushed by the fruits of your own failure, and so now come and show me what you're made of and hit me with everything that you have. To where shockingly enough, as Broly went on to then stand back up by holding onto his ribs and suddenly having to acknowledge the overall situation, was when Broly then went on to utter that attack. I remember that attack from a long time ago. And remember the attack Broly did, because despite with Gogeta unleashing a devastating and massive divine Kamehameha, with Grizzlor also shown having to erase the attack at the same time while having to crash through it, was when Jinrei then went on to chime back in. Now, as much as I admire the effort that these Saiyans were shown putting into trying to beat Lord Grizzlor, I do believe that it was a mistake for Lord Grizzlor to engage against Gogeta like this, but it's a call that just simply had to be made. To which it was only then with a gigantic explosion then being shown taking place, with Gogeta being shown having to also shield himself, was when Gogeta then went on to quickly chime back in. Oh, there, a direct strike, for he didn't even try to avoid it, but instead went right into it. And so, did it actually work is the question, because there is no way that he should still be able to still be shown standing after taking an attack of that caliber head on the way he did. And so did it work? Wait, Gogeta then went on to quickly continue. I think I'm able to see him. Yes, there he is. And by the looks of it, he doesn't appear to be in any sort of condition to continue with this any further, and so does this mean that he's down for good? Or was he momentarily just stunned and is planning to continue? To which, as Gogeta was then shown powering back down to his base form, was when Gogeta then went on to continue. Oh man, what a battle. For that God of Destruction wasn't letting up no matter what it was that we went and tried against them, but in the end, I'm glad that this is all finally over with, and my power, we've reverted back down to our base level, which more than likely means that our final Kamehameha must have drained the final bits of time that our fusion had remaining, since I already feel like we're going to separate at any given moment, Gogeta continues. But is it really over is the question. question, for I must be sure because I can't just go on and take any chances while we're still fused. But then, it was only just upon with Angel Generate being shown getting in between both Grizzlor, Gogeta, and Broly was when Generate went on to then stick his arm out behind them by then responding, whatever you are about to go and do, I would encourage for you to not follow through on, as I will hereby go and handle this situation myself and ask that you all stay back in the meantime while I check in to see what Lord Grizzlor's condition currently is, for I will ensure to inform you all of what comes out of this once I am sure of the results behind your actions, and so please remain where you are. But surprisingly enough, just when Gogeta had assumed that this was all over and done with, was when Broly had appeared from out of nowhere by grabbing onto Gogeta by the back of the shoulder, as Gogeta then went on to respond, "What the? Oh wait, you're still standing without falling back down to your base yet? Now just hold on for just a moment, alright Broly, because we can Fusion Warrior Gogeta," Broly went on to then utter. "Thank you, I remember you, and I remember what you said," Broly went on to then shake Gogeta's hand forcefully. "Whoa, no way," Gogeta went on to then quickly respond upon being shown shaking Broly's hand. "You can actually talk while in that form? But since when were you able to go and do that? Because typically you're just out of your mind insane, and so this is new to me, but oh sure, I'm glad that we were able to, well, remind you of when we
take control,
did."
bro.
But then it was only from out of nowhere with Goku and Vegeta then shown having to separate as Broly went on to then power back down to his base form, was when Vegeta then went on to quickly respond, what the heck just happened? Wait, I'm me again. Our fusion had completely worn out, with Goku responding, "Whoa, it did. How long was that? Like maybe 6 or 7 minutes? Because, well, that felt really fast, didn't it? And hey, look, it's Broly. Are you okay, Broly? Cause you don't look too good. And so I hope that our fusion didn't go and hurt you that bad now, did it? Because you know that deep down we really didn't mean to hurt you, you know?" With Broly responding, "I think I'll be alright, but my ribs, I think they're broken because I was able to hear you from within, and so thank you for sparing my life," as Angel Generate went on to then oversee Grizzlor down below by them responding, "Well, from what I'm able to gather together following your initial battle and devastating final attack against Lord
that nigga
Grizzlor,
got knocked out cold, NyQuil, nigga. That nigga fucking sucked. Grizzlor, get your bitch ass up. Wake up."
Back into his hibernation, with Vegeta questioning, "Wait, say what now? He's completely out cold? Indefinitely? So we managed to lay him out to the point where he slipped and fell straight into sleeping from that, and so, he isn't going to be standing back up somehow and wanting to eat us now, does he?" With Jinrei responding, "Now while I understand your notions of curiosity and concern surrounding what may come out of this very surprising yet interesting situation, and especially when considering that this has never happened to Lord Grizzlor before, you may all now rest assured that Lord Grizzlor will not be engaging against the three of you while in this current state that he is in, for he is only now resting and shall remain this way for the time being. However, in the meantime, I would like to go and have a word with the three of you, and so you will all stay right where you all currently are so that I may address you along with your actions along the way here today." To which all the while in the meantime, when then having to venture on back into Universe 7 in seeing as to how Whis, Beerus, and Gohan had finally arrived back onto Beerus' planet, was when Whis went on to then chime back in, "And there we are now, home sweet home, am I right? Goodness, and what a brilliant and explosive conclusion to your training session as well," Whis continues, "for I would be lying if I said that the two of you didn't already have me by the edge of my seat, but in the end, I am very glad that you were both able to pass," with Beerus having to then chime in, "Yes, and while I second on the idea of bringing Goku's son along to train alongside me, as good of a battle as it was, don't forget about the agreement that we had made to keep the results of our battle between us until further notice, Whis." "Why yes, no, but of course," Whis responds, "as I'm sure that the results of both of you having to obtain such power will more than likely inspire the others to also go and do the same in no time as well, my lord." "Hey Whis, I have a small request to make if it's not too much to ask for," Gohan went on to then question, "and as I wanted to go and see if you could maybe change my outfit by giving me something new that blends together the outfits of my past that involve Piccolo and my father's, and so could you maybe just go and do that for me? With Whis responding, a new outfit that blends together the history of your masters, do you? Well, alright then. Now let's just go and see on what we can go and come up with then, shall we? And so while I may have a bit of an understanding as to why you want to go and change the design of your outfit, and I do in fact actually believe that this ought to be a new and refreshing take on your image, and especially when considering your newly unlocked powers, that is. And so there you go, to which as Gohan's outfit was now shown completely changing. It was only just as Gohan was then shown having to gain this new outfit by Whis was when Whis went on to then continue, and there, as I do find this blend of colors to be far more better suiting for you now that you're the strongest mortal among all those who exist within Universe 7, and at least for now, of course, until the others get wind of what you had undergone. But alas, here is your new outfit, and so what do you think? With Gohan responding, amazing, I didn't think that it would honestly look this good, but I'm glad that you were able to forge something that looks just as great as what you just made, Whis, so just truly thank you for that. But I also do have another question to ask you that relates to my dad and the others, actually. So would you happen to know on where they all currently are, and if so, then would it be possible for you to go and send me into the universe that they are all currently inside of, Gohan questions? And I just want to go and check in with all of them just in case they are all in need of some kind of assistance wherever they may be, as Beerus then went on to chime in, yes, and I say you go and bring him wherever those other Saiyans happen to currently be within the moment, while you and I handle other businesses in the meantime, Whis. And so where do they happen to be within the moment? As Whis went on to then respond, well, if you insist. And so now let's see, well, that's odd, for they no longer appear to be within Universe 16, but instead, well, they all happen to be waging a battle against Lord Grizzlor in Universe 17 at the moment, Whis continues, and by the looks of it, from what I can see, it would now seem as though their battle against Lord Grizzlor is now over. And so if it is, then that's where I'll be sending you, Whis went on to then point out his staff by responding, and so all right now, for I wish you well on your journey on going and getting them all back, but, well, do please be careful and try not to get yourself along with the others destroyed if something were to go wrong. As Gohan then went on to respond, you can count on me, Whis, and with my newly evolved power in my back pocket, I'll make sure that nothing goes wrong in bringing everyone back here, and so thank you. To which as Whis was then shown sending Gohan off into Universe 17, it was only just as Whis and Beerus were beginning to gaze on up and seeing Gohan leave was when Whis went on to then continue, oh, and off he goes, for I do hope that the others aren't in a position where they will need Gohan's help, but, well, I do have that feeling that they have already engaged against Lord Grizzlor by now. But what do you say we go and grab a bite to eat in the meantime, Lord Beerus? With Beerus responding, no, I'm not in the mood to eat anything actually, and I don't plan for us to stay here for much longer than we need to, and so this is what I will need for you to go and do, Whis. I want you to go and get approval from the Grand Minister in allowing me to have my rematch against Universe 16's God of Destruction Reno, along with whoever else wishes to settle their differences with me, Beerus continues. For it's time to settle an old score, and a score that has been bothering me ever since it happened. And so I want you to go and take me to Lord Reno's universe as soon as you are given approval by the Grand Minister, Whis. For I have not forgotten about the humiliation of my defeat by his hands, as this time around I plan on having things end much differently than how they previously did, as I am going to make them all remember on who I am, Beerus continues. And while the defeat I suffered is but a blemish that must be corrected with my training completed, the power that I now possess will make him tremble in wishing that he had never went and made the mistake that he did, as I will force him to remember my strength, for he will pay for every moment of my humiliation that I had to suffer by his hand. And so now go and do what you must, and once you do, Beerus went on to then add, I want you to go and take me into Universe 13 at once, for the time has finally arrived, as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Resurrected Fallen Gods of Destruction, the Universe 17 Saga Manga Chapter number 9 finale then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something.
Boy, that was a fire chapter, boy. A fire chapter. That boy already been doing this thing, boy. Really doing this thing, bro. Gohan, I can't wait to see how the next arc will look with Gohan. And then Beerus versus Reno, that's going to be a good fight. And hope we get some more Gogeta. But anyway. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last chapter right here. Check out another video right here, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.